So everybody's arguing about the Somalis. We got Trump ranting. We got Democrats defending. And what's happening with Black Americans? Nothing. Somehow, this immigrant groups, their issues are front and center. Everyone's talking about it. And it's like Black American issues don't get any amount of urgency at all for what's impacting our communities. This is the same old playbook we've been seeing. Check it out.
Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created. It is important for us, one, to remind folks that we are Americans. We're not going anywhere, and we will continue to be in this country. And two, that Minnesotans are resilient, and we will continue to thrive.
See, this is what I mean. When the immigrants mess up, everybody bends over backwards to soften the blow. Listen to Ilhan Omar making excuses. When it's Black Americans, even when we don't mess up, everybody's pointing fingers. I don't get it twisted. Trump is wrong here. You don't throw a whole group of people, a whole ethnicity under the bus, right, for the actions of 100. You got 80,000, 100,000 Somalis. You can't blame them for what 100 Somalis did, right? But notice how he's going to use this for his advantage.
Somalians ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country is no good for a reason. Their country stinks.
His rant gets more attention from the media than anything affecting the Black community. Immigrants, they get outrage. Politicians, they get protection. And the corporations and the government, what do? They get away scot-free because they're all corrupt. Billions of dollars have left Minnesota and went offshore back to Somalia in Mogadishu. That's the real issue here. Politicians get to defend what happened and not be held accountable. For billions of dollars leaving the state, taxpayers' money gone out the back door. Trump rants about what's happening with the Somalis because that helps him with his base, right? Because he was doing pretty bad after the Epstein stuff. So this helps him because now they got somebody to point fingers at, which will be the Somalis. Justifiably, the group, but not the entire group of Somalis, is justifiable to point to the criminal network. But the criminal network gets away with billions of dollars. Because where's the money? The money went back to Somalia. Even if you lock up some people that are here, they don't have the money. They sent the money to Somalia. And what happens with Black Americans? Black Americans, our issues are ignored. No one's thinking about our situation. We can't get the type of coverage the Somalis are getting right now when billions of dollars come up missing. Man, if a Black kid steals a book bag at a store, we get more negative coverage than the Somalis are getting right now over billions of dollars leaving a state. And listen to the way these politicians talk about it. It's a slap in the face to all Black Americans.
But now, President Donald Trump singling out and attacking one group of people, and ICE being on our streets and asking people documentation. It feels like we are in 1930s, 1940s in Germany. Never thought there would be a time where I will tell my community to carry their passport around because you look like Somali. You might be stopped by ICE.
The truth is, Black Americans are being ignored unless our pain can be used to further an agenda of the Democratic Party. And typically that agenda has nothing to do with us. They use our pain to further the agenda of other groups that they want to prop up. But it doesn't even get anchored into the Black American struggle for the American dream. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where we are. Black Americans within the Democratic Party, instead of complaining and pushing back, withholding their vote from the Democratic Party, instead of using our power within that party to hold them accountable to extract for Black Americans, instead we're propping up the party. We're defending the party. We're running behind Roland Martin. We're running behind Angela Rye. We're running behind the Kamala Harris branch, trying to support her, helping her, when it's the opposite. The Democratic Party is supposed to help us. We're not supposed to be fighting for them. They're supposed to be fighting for us. When was the last time you heard a congressperson fight for Black Americans the way Ilhan is fighting for Somalians?
It is important for us, one, to remind folks that we are Americans. We're not going anywhere, and we will continue to be in this country. And two, that Minnesotans are resilient, and we will continue to thrive.
Huh? I'm just pointing it out. I'm not knocking Ilhan Omar for that. That's why she got elected. But I'm saying, where's that type of intensity for us? Now, if they're not talking about immigrants getting pulled over or having to produce ID, oh no, having to show that they are citizens or they have been given authority to be in the country, that they're not an illegal entry, oh no, if that's not the conversation is now about Somalians. Is it Black America needed another distraction from issues that impact Black Americans? We got a whole lot of those distractions already. We don't need more distractions from our issues. Now, one last thing before we leave this clip, I want to point this out.
He's wrong, and we want them here. Somali people have been an extraordinary benefit. I'll say it again. Somali people have been a benefit to our city for longer than I have been in our city. They have started businesses and created jobs. They have added to the cultural fabric of what Minneapolis is. They were welcoming to me when I first came out to Minneapolis. And in fact, they were one of the first groups that I myself got to know. To, again, villainize an entire group is ridiculous.
They started businesses. How they do that? How they start businesses, son? Yeah, how refugees from a war-torn nation, how they start businesses? Yeah, we get to it now. Said a little much there, sir. Yeah, I want to know where they got the money to start businesses when they had money in Somalia. I thought all they had was bullet holes and dead relatives, family members in Somalia. I thought it was a war-torn nation with no real government. Warlords and shit. Isn't that what it is? Now it's coming more clear. So you said they are a benefit to Minnesota. Why are they a benefit to Minnesota? You know what I think it is? You know what I think it is, fam? I think Minnesota, I think a bunch of you political types took this as an opportunity to make a lot of money off a bunch of refugees. Yeah, you know, the money's in the comeback, and refugees just keep on coming. You know, because they need everything. Just like the undocumented immigrants, the immigrants that come across the southern border, same type of thing where, you know, y'all got to feed them. So somebody gets a contract feeding them. Somebody gets a contract getting them up to medical, make sure they got all their shots and shit. Somebody gets a contract housing them. Somebody gets a contract giving them job training, language preparation. I mean, there's contracts out the gazoo. No wonder why Minnesota said they're a benefit. It benefits the government. It gets to get bigger with programs and shit. And then it benefits non-government organizations. And we know who it doesn't benefit. Black Americans. At the end of the day, this continues the same conversation that we've been seeing for decades, and that is, they always got energy for everybody else except Black Americans, and anybody else with an issue gets pushed in front of us in line to have their issues addressed. That is what's been consistent. And the same thing plays out in this story. Black Americans, we get told we need to be patient, we get lectures, we get people wagging their fingers, telling us how dare you start asking for things, how dare you make yourself the focus. There'll be people in the comment section of this video who will say, it's always got to be about the blacks. When other communities have a problem, this country jumps. And when we have a problem, suddenly there's no money. Suddenly, no political will and no time. Billions of dollars left out of Minnesota because Minnesota had billions of dollars to give to the Somali community. Get it? Now, I don't blame Somali families for coming to America trying to survive. I don't blame immigrants looking for safety. I blame the people who only discover compassion and concern when it benefits them. And until Black America stops letting these parties play us against each other, nothing will change. It will stay the same. We got to be able to see through the nonsense, see through the charades. Don't get sucked into this whole argument about Somalis. They're fine. America through them are life preserving. Black America, we still need ours. My name is Tim Black, and you've been watching the most dangerous show in America. Stay focused, stay sharp, and most of all, stay dangerous.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.